Welcome to Compelling Topics, the only channel dedicated to the perspective of leading researchers from the Italian independent scene. Let's turn your minds on. In this episode, we dive into one of the most controversial and intriguing frontiers of alternative history together with Nicola Bizzi. From lost cycles of civilization to vast underground worlds, Bizzi guides us through a narrative that challenges conventional timelines and raises unsettling questions about humanity's true past. Is it possible that advanced civilizations existed millions of years before us? Why do ancient myths from distant cultures tell such strikingly similar stories of hidden realms beneath the earth? And what lies behind the mysterious networks of tunnels and subterranean cities scattered across the planet? This is the first of a two-part exploration, where we begin to unravel Bizzi's research, theories, and the evidence he believes points to a forgotten history, one that could radically reshape the way we understand our origins. Nicola Bizzi tackles a subject he himself calls thorny, yet fascinating: the realms beneath our feet and the possibility of earlier cycles of civilization. His central thesis is that life on Earth unfolds in cycles, and that other human civilizations existed long before our own. Even Hesiod, Bizzi reminds us, claimed that ours is the fifth humanity, preceded by four others. To support this view, Bizzi points to the discovery of artifacts, testimonies, and finds that he associates with intelligent civilizations from unimaginably remote epochs. Some of this evidence, he argues, dates back as far as 300 to 400 million years, within the layers of the Carboniferous period, an era when, according to mainstream science, only primitive life forms existed. These findings, he stresses, are documented, accessible, and verifiable, which is precisely what makes them so disruptive. What deeply frustrates Bizzi, and, as he notes, many researchers in this field, is that evidence of this kind is systematically ignored or concealed by so-called mainstream science, in an effort to prevent challenges to the established paradigms of archaeology and conventional history. Beyond the Carboniferous traces, Bizzi lists further indications of intelligent civilizations dating back roughly 60 million, 36 million, 12 million, 8 million, and even 2 million years ago. Of these civilizations, he admits, we know almost nothing, but the artifacts, he insists, are there. The true enigma of humanity, as he frames it, lies in our inability to understand our own origins. He offers a striking metaphor. If an advanced extraterrestrial civilization were to ask us to introduce ourselves and recount our history, we would be unable to do so, and such ignorance would appear incomprehensible to them. According to Bizzi, responsibility for this gap in knowledge lies with a system that has persisted for millennia, one rooted in political and religious structures that tend to erase or obscure everything that came before. The reason, he argues, is straightforward. A full understanding of humanity's true origins, its real DNA, and its deeper nature would threaten existing power structures by revealing human potential in its entirety. Within this framework, Bizzi refers to his book The Alien Dawn of Humanity, The Journey of Man from Tau Ceti to Atlantis, published by Aurora Boreal, as an attempt to draw a provisional line under these questions. He makes no claim to absolute truth, but rather seeks to contribute to an ongoing, collective inquiry that has spanned decades. Bizzi also sees signs of a broader shift, or, in his view, a manipulation, in school curricula. When he began elementary school in 1977, history lessons started with ancient Egypt. Today, observing his daughter's education, he notes that teaching begins with prehistory, Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Neanderthals, and so on. While this might appear to be progress, Bizzi interprets it as a further layering of an artificial narrative, a pre-packaged version of prehistory that fails to provide a true key to reality. And that reality, he adds, is dangerous because it would dismantle religions, belief systems, and entrenched dogmas. It would open the door to a radical idea that humanity has risen and fallen countless times, reborn from its own ashes as the planet undergoes cyclical catastrophes that reshape its surface, alter its geography, and wipe out entire civilizations. Regardless of whether one accepts these cycles, Bizzi introduces a second major enigma: the existence, across the entire world, of vast networks of artificial underground tunnels carved at different times, some of them incredibly ancient. These structures are dated, he says, to 60,000, 40,000, 35,000, and 20,000 years ago. The question he poses is simple but profound. Why would human civilizations feel the need to excavate such enormous subterranean complexes? These are not, he insists, mere shelters or modern-style bunkers. They comprise thousands of kilometers of tunnels, entire underground cities, and multi-level labyrinths extending on a global scale. Constructing such systems would have required a technologically advanced civilization, far beyond what conventional history attributes to those eras. And it is precisely here, Bizzi argues, that the foundations of traditional historiography begin to crumble. In support of this claim, Bizzi cites the work of archaeologist Alessandro Marcan, a friend and collaborator who passed away in 2021 and had worked with the archaeological superintendents of Rome and Lazio. Over 30 years, Marcan conducted a systematic study later distilled into the book The Subterranean Civilization, published by Edizioni Aurora Boreal. His conclusions, as reported by Bizzi, are extraordinary. The labyrinthine underground structures stretching from southern Tuscany across all of Lazio, including the area of Rome, are more than 40,000 years old, and were not excavated with primitive tools like picks and shovels, but with mechanical drilling technologies comparable to modern machinery, capable of cutting through rock with continuous precision. Bizzi also recalls his youthful excursions in the Maremma of Lazio, where he explored the so-called Etruscan hollow ways together with Alessandro Marcan and another friend and researcher, Giovanni Fio. Even then, Marcan pointed out that those tunnels and cavities could not be attributed to the Etruscans, who had merely discovered and reused them. The clearest evidence lies in the fact that several Etruscan tombs at Cerveteri, carved into tough rock, actually cut through pre-existing underground tunnels, demonstrating that these structures were already there long before the Etruscans made use of them. Turning to Austria and Germany, Bizzi highlights the work of researcher Heinrich Kusch and his wife Ingrid Kusch, who for years have studied hypogean cavities across Austrian territory, extending their investigations into Hungary, Germany, northern Italy, and more recently Finland, where an unexpected and vast underground world is said to be emerging. An important contribution to this research also comes from Leo Hinz, who continues to provide Bizzi with extensive documentation from Germany. The Kusches have reached an even more astonishing conclusion than Marcan's. The tunnel networks beneath Austria were not excavated using modern mechanical drills, but with something far more advanced. The marks left by excavation, they argue, clearly indicate a fusion of the rock itself. This would imply a mechanism capable of liquefying stone as it progressed underground, a kind of thermoinduction applied on an engineering scale. Bizzi acknowledges that this borders on science fiction, yet insists that these are scientifically demonstrated findings. According to Bizzi, this discovery is of extraordinary importance. Not only were these tunnels created in extremely remote epochs, but they were formed using a thermal technology for which we have no trace in conventional history. The global distribution of such structures, combined with their advanced technological characteristics, strengthens, at least in his view, the hypothesis of previous cycles of civilization capable of achieving remarkable feats. Supporting the existence of these underground realities, Bizzi argues, is not only scientific data and physical evidence, but also a vast body of worldwide legend. He focuses in particular on two interconnected traditions, the Germanic legend of the Venusberg and the Irish Celtic myth of Tir na Nog. The legend of the Venusberg, literally the Mountain of Venus, is well known throughout the German-speaking world, to the point that there are ongoing debates about its actual geographical location. Some place it near Frankfurt, others in the Black Forest. Bizzi rediscovered it through the republication of a book by Alfred von Riemann, a Prussian ambassador to the Grand Duchy of Tuscany and a scholar of wide-ranging interests, including unusual phenomena, myths, and legends. Bizzi chose to republish this work, available through Aurora Boreal, because he considers it emblematic. The legend tells of a knight who enters an inhabited underground realm, ruled by a queen, the goddess Venus herself. In this hidden world, time flows differently from the surface. The knight spends what he believes to be only a few days at the goddess's court, but when he chooses to return, he discovers that 300 years have passed. Venus allows him to leave, but warns him not to dismount from his horse for a certain number of days, or face dire consequences. Once back on the surface, the knight dismounts to help an old man whose cart has fallen into a ditch, and his body instantly turns to ashes, consumed by the 300 years he had not lived in the world above. The origin of this legend, Bizzi claims to have discovered, is even older and rooted in Celtic tradition. The Celtic tale of Oisin, son of the famed Irish hero Finn Mac Cumhale, follows an almost identical narrative pattern. Oisin falls in love with a fairy named Niamh and follows her into the subterranean realm known as Tir na Nog, the land of eternal youth, where he lives happily for 300 years. Longing for his former world, he decides to return to the surface. Niamh lends him her magical horse, but warns him never to dismount before a certain time, or he will age instantly. When Oisin reaches Ireland, he finds everything changed, his loved ones long gone. As soon as he dismounts to help a man lift a stone, he turns into a decrepit old man and crumbles into dust. The horse, riderless, returns sorrowfully to Niamh. Bizzi highlights the striking parallels between the two stories, emerging from different cultural traditions yet sharing the same core elements: an inhabited and luminous underground world, time flowing differently, a female guide who grants passage, a prohibition that must not be broken, and an immediate, irreversible punishment for those who violate it. How many traditions, Bizzi asks, tell a similar story? It is as if beneath the earth not only dwell inhabitants, but time itself follows laws different from our own. The Celtic underworld, known as and in Welsh tradition and as Tir na Nog in Irish lore, is described as a land of eternal youth, an enchanted realm of peace and abundance. Its inhabitants are not human, or not entirely so. They are gods, spirits, fairies, and entities that sometimes reveal themselves to humans and invite them into their domain. Those who accept must strictly obey their rules, or lose forever the possibility of returning to the human world. But what could have driven advanced civilizations, capable of excavating such vast tunnel systems, to undertake such efforts? Bizzi's answer is clear: the cyclical nature of cataclysms. In ordinary conditions, he says, civilizations live on the surface, breathing the air and enjoying the sun. But a technologically advanced society would be able to calculate the periodicity of catastrophic events affecting the planet and prepare accordingly, building shelters with the technologies at its disposal. If tunnels were indeed constructed 60 million, 36 million, 12 million, 2 million, 600,000 years ago, and later at 60,000, 36,000, and 12,000 years ago. This would imply not only repeated cataclysms, but also multiple civilizations compelled to create refuge structures, likely intended for ruling elites, along with the technologies, knowledge, and information they sought to preserve each time. Bizzi does not rule out the possibility that many of these successive civilizations, whenever possible, discovered earlier tunnels, adapted them, or pushed even deeper underground. As an example, he cites the subterranean complexes of Anatolia, such as Derinkuyu, with its 18 documented levels, though in reality more, as even larger systems have since been found, and recounts a remarkable personal experience in Paphos, on the island of Cyprus. During a 2-week stay on the island, Bizzi visited the Roman archaeological area of Paphos, famous for its magnificent mosaics depicting Orpheus. There, he noticed a sign pointing toward catacombs at the edge of the site. Following it, he descended into what he describes as astonishing underground chambers, an entire level of structures with rooms over 10 to 15 meters long and wide, and about 10 meters high, with stone ceilings polished to a mirror-like smoothness, something no pickaxe could achieve. From that level, there was access to a second level with similar characteristics, and from there to yet another subterranean passage, whose staircase was halfway blocked by earth. How many further levels existed, Bizzi could not determine. The site was completely unguarded and nearly deserted, visited at that moment only by a Russian tourist with whom Bizzi exchanged a few observations. That's all for today. This is just the beginning. Join us in the next episode of Saturday Classics, where we'll continue this journey and dive even deeper into the mystery here on Compelling Topics.
I went to